The audience was already laughing before Marcus even sat down. Not quiet laughter, not hidden, loud, sharp, uncomfortable. Marcus stepped onto the bright stage lights, his simple outfit standing out against the polished suits and designer dresses around him. Across from him sat Daniel Hayes, the famous talk show host, known for his brutal honesty in viral confrontations. Daniel leaned back in his chair, smirking. "So, Marcus," he said slowly, glancing at his card, "you're here today claiming something pretty unbelievable." The crowd chuckled again. Marcus didn't smile. His hands were steady, but his eyes carried something deeper. "I'm not claiming," Marcus said calmly. "I'm here for the truth." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "The truth?" He laughed. "You're saying you might be related to me? That's what this is about." More laughter. The camera zoomed in on Marcus's face. Calm, focused. "Yes." Daniel shook his head, turning to the audience. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what I mean when I talk about people chasing clout," he said. "My family history is well documented. Generations. There's no mystery here." Marcus didn't react. Instead, he reached into his pocket and placed a folded paper on the table. "I didn't come here for attention," he said quietly. "I came because my mother spent her entire life hiding something." The room shifted slightly. Not silence, but curiosity. Daniel leaned forward now, slightly more interested. "All right," he said. "Let's hear it. Entertain us." Marcus took a breath. "My mother worked as a housekeeper," he began. "Years ago, for a wealthy family." Daniel smirked again. "Let me guess. My family?" Marcus looked directly at him. "Yes." The audience reacted louder this time, some shocked, some laughing harder. Daniel clapped slowly. "Wow. So now we're going full drama," he said. "What's next? You're going to tell me I have a secret brother too?" Marcus didn't blink. "No," he said. "I'm going to tell you that your father isn't who you think he is." That line hit differently. The laughter faded. Just a little. Daniel's smile tightened. "Careful," he said, voice lower now. "You're stepping into dangerous territory." Marcus leaned forward slightly. "My mother was told to stay quiet," he said. "Paid to stay quiet. But before she died, she gave me everything. Dates, letters, photos." The producer behind the cameras signaled something. The tension was rising, and ratings loved tension. Daniel leaned back again, forcing a laugh. "This is ridiculous," he said. "But you know what? Let's play along." He turned toward the camera. "We actually prepared for something like this," he said. "Because claims like these, they're easy to settle." The audience murmured. Daniel smiled wider. "DNA test." The crowd erupted in cheers. Marcus nodded slowly. "I was hoping you'd say that." Minutes later, a technician walked on stage holding 2 sealed DNA kits. The energy had completely changed now. This wasn't just entertainment anymore. This was something else. Daniel rolled up his sleeve dramatically. "Let's do it," he said confidently. Marcus did the same. No hesitation, no fear. Swabs were taken, samples collected. The audience buzzed with anticipation as the technician walked off stage. Daniel leaned back again, relaxed. "You'll know what's going to happen, right?" he said. "This test is going to come back negative. And this whole story, over." Marcus looked at him. "No," he said softly. "That's not what's going to happen." The show cut to a short break. But backstage, everything felt heavier. One of the producers approached Daniel. "Hey, just checking," she said. "There's no way." Daniel cut her off. "No," he snapped. "This is nonsense." But for the first time, there was a crack, a small one. When the show returned, the audience was louder than ever. The technician stood at the side of the stage, holding a sealed envelope. Daniel smiled confidently. "Moment of truth," he said. Marcus didn't move. The technician stepped forward and handed the envelope to Daniel. "Would you like to read it?" she asked. Daniel took it, paused for a second, then laughed. "Of course I would." He opened the envelope, pulled out the paper. His eyes scanned the first line, then the second, and suddenly, his smile disappeared completely. The audience went quiet. Daniel blinked, once, twice. His hands tightened around the paper. He started, but stopped. The silence was now heavy. "What does it say?" someone from the audience shouted. Daniel didn't respond. Marcus spoke instead. "Say it," he said calmly. Daniel looked up. For the first time since the show started, he looked unsure. "This test," he said slowly, "confirms a biological relationship." The audience gasped. Loud, uncontrolled. Daniel swallowed. He continued, voice shaking slightly. "There is a 99.8% probability that we share the same father." The room exploded. Some people stood up. Others covered their mouths. Marcus didn't react, he just watched. Daniel shook his head. "No," he muttered. That's not possible. Marcus leaned forward. My mother told me the truth before she died, he said. She said your father knew. Daniel snapped. Stop. The word echoed across the stage. The audience fell silent again. Daniel stood up now, pacing. This is fake, he said. This has to be fake. The technician stepped forward. It's verified, she said, multiple times. Daniel froze. Marcus reached into his pocket again, pulled out another paper. This is a letter, he said, written by your father. Daniel didn't move. He admitted everything, Marcus continued. He said he was too afraid to tell the truth, too afraid of what people would think. The audience listened, completely locked in. Marcus placed the letter on the table. I didn't come here to embarrass you, he said. I came because I lived my entire life without answers. Daniel slowly turned, his confidence gone, his voice quieter. Why now? He asked. Marcus looked at him. Because you built a career judging people, he said, humiliating them, deciding who belongs and who doesn't. The words hit hard, and the whole time, Marcus continued, you didn't even know your own truth. The room was silent, no laughter, no whispers, just tension. Daniel looked down at the paper in his hand again, then at Marcus. His expression changed. Not anger, not denial, something else, realization. Daniel started, but he couldn't finish. For the first time, he didn't have control. Marcus stood up slowly. I don't want your fame, he said. I don't want your money. He paused. I just wanted the truth to exist somewhere. It couldn't be hidden. He turned to leave, but stopped. One more thing, he said without looking back. My mother forgave him. Silence. I hope one day you understand why. Marcus walked off the stage. No music, no applause, just silence. Daniel stood there alone, holding the paper, staring at a reality he never expected. The audience didn't know what to do. For once, the man who built his career exposing others had been exposed himself. Daniel didn't move for a long time. The paper in his hand felt heavier than anything he had ever held before. The studio lights that once made him feel powerful now burned against his skin. For years, he had controlled this stage, controlled the narrative, controlled the people, controlled the truth. But now, the truth controlled him. A producer's voice echoed faintly from behind the cameras, trying to signal a wrap, trying to move things forward. But no one on that stage was listening anymore. Daniel slowly looked up. Wait, he said, his voice barely steady. Marcus had almost reached the exit at the side of the stage. He paused, but didn't turn around immediately. The entire audience leaned forward, holding their breath. Marcus, Daniel said again, this time louder. Marcus turned. Their eyes met again, but everything between them had changed. There was no arrogance left in Daniel's face now. No smirk, no performance. Just confusion, and something dangerously close to regret. You just drop this and walk away, Daniel asked. That's it. Marcus studied him for a moment. What else is there? He replied quietly. Daniel stepped forward, the paper still in his hand shaking slightly. You come onto my show. You accuse my family. You flip my entire life upside down in front of millions of people, and then you just leave, he said, his voice rising again, but it wasn't anger this time, it was desperation. Marcus didn't flinch. I didn't flip your life, he said. I revealed it. The words cut deeper than anything before. A murmur spread through the audience again. Daniel ran a hand through his hair, pacing again, but this time, he looked lost, not like a host managing tension, but like a man trying to hold on to something that was already gone. You don't understand what this does, Daniel said. My name, my family, everything I've built. Marcus interrupted him. Your image, he said. Daniel stopped. That's what you mean, Marcus continued. Not your life, your image. Silence. Marcus took a few steps back toward the stage now, not fully returning but not leaving either. You think this is the first time someone's life got flipped? Marcus said. You've made a career out of doing that to people, laughing at them, questioning them, breaking them down in front of an audience. Daniel's jaw tightened. That's different, he said. Marcus shook his head slowly. No, he said. It's not. Another long silence. The audience wasn't reacting loudly anymore. No claps, no gasps, just complete attention. Raw, focused. Daniel looked down at the letters still sitting on the table. His father's handwriting, something he had seen 1,000 times growing up. Birthday cards, notes, signatures on documents. Familiar, trusted, and now completely unfamiliar. He walked slowly back to the table and picked it up. His hands trembled slightly as he unfolded it again. "You've read this?" Daniel asked without looking up. Marcus nodded. "Every word," he said. Daniel swallowed. "Then you know." He started, but stopped. His voice cracked. He cleared his throat, trying to regain control, but it wasn't working anymore. For the first time in his career, there was no script to follow, no clever comeback, no angle to spin, just truth. "I grew up believing my father was." Daniel paused again, searching for the word. "Perfect." Marcus didn't respond. "He taught me everything," Daniel continued. "Discipline, reputation, legacy." A bitter laugh escaped him. "Funny, right?" he said. "All that talk about legacy. And this is part of it." Marcus stepped closer now. "People are complicated," he said. "They make choices. Some good, some not." Daniel looked up sharply. "You're defending him?" he asked. Marcus shook his head. "No," he said. "I'm telling you the truth you avoided your whole life." Daniel stared at him. "You built your identity on what you were told." Marcus continued. "I built mine on what was hidden." That line sat heavy in the air. Daniel exhaled slowly. Then something shifted again. Not anger, not denial. Something quieter. "Why didn't you come sooner?" he asked. Marcus hesitated for the first time. A real hesitation. "I tried," he said finally. "Years ago." Daniel frowned. "What?" "I reached out," Marcus said. "Letters, emails, calls, nothing dramatic, just questions." Daniel's face changed again. "I never saw anything," he said. Marcus gave a small, almost sad smile. "Yeah," he said. "I figured that." The implication landed instantly. Layers of control, barriers, people protecting reputations, filtering truth. Daniel slowly sat down. Everything was starting to connect in ways he didn't want. "You think someone kept it from me?" he asked. Marcus didn't answer directly. "I think your world was built to protect itself," he said. Silence. The audience shifted slightly, absorbing every word. Daniel leaned forward, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor. "For years," he said quietly, "I thought I knew exactly who I was." He looked up again. "And now I don't even know where to start." Marcus studied him. Then, slowly, he walked back toward the center of the stage, not as a guest, not as someone seeking approval, but as someone standing equal. "You start the same way I did," Marcus said. Daniel looked at him. "How?" Marcus took a breath. "By accepting the truth," he said. "Even when it's uncomfortable." Daniel let out a long breath. A real one. Not for the camera. Not for the audience. Just human. The tension in his shoulders dropped slightly. For the first time, he wasn't performing. He was listening. "I don't know what happens now," Daniel admitted. Marcus nodded. "You don't have to," he said. "You just have to decide who you're going to be after this." Another silence. But this one felt different. Less heavy, more open. Daniel looked around the studio, at the audience, at the cameras, at the stage that had given him everything and taken something back. Slowly, he stood up. Then he did something no one expected. He extended his hand, not for the cameras, not dramatically, just honestly. Marcus looked at it. For a moment, it felt like time paused again. Then he stepped forward and shook it. The audience didn't explode into applause. They didn't cheer. But something shifted, something real, to lives that had been separated by silence, now connected by truth. No music played, no dramatic ending, just a quiet moment that carried more weight than anything loud ever could. And as the camera slowly faded out, for the first time in his life, Daniel Hayes didn't have the last word. The truth did.